while since I've seen you guys. September 14th is the date. It's a Thursday. And Joe, once again, let's jump into what the markets did today. I've got my 2 cents. You know the drill. Take responsibility for the outcome. I'm going to break down the news of the day. I'm going to break down the markets technically, and I'm going to share a couple of trades with you. So let's get going.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional stock and option traders. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
Moving into the market analysis, we actually did get a move outside of the symmetrical triangle I've been talking about for the last 2 days in a row. And this is the third day in the row. So we're starting to see a little bit of a technical move to the upside. Well, let's break down what happened. First of all, we had a couple of more inflationary numbers come out a little bit higher. We had a higher CPI yesterday. Today we've got the PPI, highest it's been for about a year now. We expected that to follow suit since we did have the higher CPI. Fed was okay with that first number. Hopefully they're okay with this one. We also saw a little bit less jobless claims than expected, just off by what, 6,000 jobs there. I'm not going to chalk that up to anything but in line. But the retail sales number I thought was really interesting. 5 months in a row now, we've been climbing pretty steadily. A lot of emphasis has been put on higher energy costs recently because it has had a bounce. In fact, we're going to get there in a second. But folks, I think oil closed over $90 a barrel. So that's kind of what's going on here. So let's get into it. Markets push higher today in light of two more inflationary indicators showing expansion. I thought there'd be a little bit more hesitation there, but the markets pushed higher regardless. So how did we finish the day? About 1%. Dow, S&P, and the Qs about 1%. Russell about 1.5%. But take a look at oil here. 2.09%, putting it over $90 a barrel. A pretty good surge in the energy side of things as well. Gold has just parked. I don't know if gold's made up its mind on these markets as well as I have personally, but it seems to just be sitting there, not really reacting to much in light of some of those inflationary numbers. So advanced decline line, 71% advancers, 25% declining. Above below the 50-day moving average, 64.36. About what you'd expect when it comes to the advanced decline line for a day like today. Let's get going straight into the market charts. What I like about today is it is showing me an idea or a side that I can start to trade. You've heard me tout this a few days in a row now about this resistance and support level. This is a good move to the upside. I would like to see a very anxious or aggressive Friday. It doesn't have to do it all at once. Chances are it's probably going to get right up to this point and park. Now, folks, my outlook is going to be a 0, and I'm going to tell you that before we get to the slide because I have seen things like this too many times to where we could get a day that does something like this, and we're right back to where we started. So I would not be surprised to see a day go right and just park itself on that 50-day moving average, or a day that actually goes up and actually flirts with this resistance. As a trader, technically, folks, this is the day that I'm looking for. The reason being is because we've already started that direction. We do have the asymmetrical triangle that it looks like it might want to start breaking out, and my entry to the upside would be there. So it's just because it's closer. That's my bias. I love just trading the market in front of me. I don't care if it's up or down. I just want whatever's closer so I can jump into a trade. So that's what I'm hoping for. But I have seen too often, folks, the markets actually kind of flip-flop. They'll have a beautiful day like today and then completely do the opposite tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But just be leery to jump into anything too early. I guess that's where I'm trying to go with today's class. Q's the exact same thing. It's already on its way up. It looks like the resistance at about that 380 level is what I'm hoping for. Right there, it'd be a beautiful little breakout, but I can see this maybe gap back down and just kind of park there, making it even a harder market for us to trade over the weekend. Let's get into the heat map. Everything pretty much green across the board. A couple things slipped a little bit. Visa, MasterCard. I was looking at both those charts today, and they look like they're having some sort of issue, a little gap down. And a pretty good sized candle to the downside, but it didn't really fall apart because take a look at the rest of the markets. Energy's a big one. Usually this was going up when the markets were going down and vice versa, but it was a pretty good surge to the upside, which leads me to believe that the sentiment really is just kind of ignoring whatever inflationary worries are out there, thinking, hey, if the Fed's okay with it, I'm okay with it. I mean, it's good to see an active retailer. Things like that are great. So is this just a bounce because we've had some inflationary indicators sliding for a little while? So it's just a little bit of a bounce and we can see them start to slide again. The Fed seems to think so as of late, but that can change based on any sort of new things that we get as we continue on down the road, right? Especially going into Wednesday, which is a FOMC statement. I switched something for today, the above 50-day moving average. So we popped out above that, so we got two greens. We got that slope that's backwards, meaning the 20s below the 50, but they're both starting to turn higher. Now, I was very close to just clicking something over. It wasn't necessarily going to be my weekly outlook up to the +1 because once again, I don't trust it. Sometimes I get days like this. But even with the gap down tomorrow, if it could stay above that 50 or right there, this just shows a little bit more optimism. So the one that I really wanted to switch over was the monthly outlook. I could have done +1 on both, I guess. But I just need to see what happens Friday. I got to have that last little candle. I get a nice little candle moving to the upside. Then both of these can easily move up to +1, my monthly and my weekly outlook. Until then, I'm just going to sit back. Now, I'm not sitting back all the way, folks, because I've gone through these markets and we've been following some of these trades, and there's still a lot out there. I added a few more to the Bears, or I said a few more to the Bulls, and let's see, one or two more to the Bears there. And I even added a sideways. GE looked like a pretty good sideways trade. So let's jump into a couple that I liked here. This is ABBV, and it's this motion. And there's a few out there. So if you guys you saw on my list, if you got your own list, there's a few out there that are making a move like this, and I like to see it. It feels like it's really just taken off. The volume is very nice. It does show that, hey, the inflation numbers are out, and the markets are taking it in stride. We look at ABBV. We look like this one is pretty happy or content to actually start to move, and we actually have a little bit of a blip in the volume there, pushing higher. So I do like to see a nice surge moving to a resistance area along with some volume. Just makes me more confident and comfortable to the bull side. Now on the sideways side, or excuse me, the bear side here, folks, is First Solar. First Solar looked really good. It was on my list on Tuesday. I had it again yesterday, and here it is today. I left it off. I had it on the list, but I didn't show the slide because it had reached so quickly to its support level with that move down yesterday. But today, it's got this inside day. Now, this could technically be a bullish harami pattern, which it happened to coincide right there, and we can see this start to float higher. But if I do get the Friday that I explained to you, that all these gains just go all the way back and we finish flat for the week or slightly down, then I think this might just give that up. So it's back on the list for anybody who didn't get into it 2 days ago, because I still do like it. I don't think it's going to really fall too hard. You guys can see back here that there is a support there at the 160 level, but a nice little floater as it kind of churns up and down. So that's what I've got, folks. The major's still pushing higher, but still shy of recent resistance levels. I love the sentiment push to the upside. I think that's great. Not enough for me. That's why I wait for support and resistance levels to be exceeded or broken. A move higher tomorrow could confirm a breakout. If that happens, I'd love to switch everything over the weekend to my +1 outlooks and get a little bit more focused on the bull lists that I have. Economic reports, CPI, PPI, and retail sales show expansion. Will the Fed stay complacent or feel the need to act? So far, they've been playing it pretty cool. I think they knew the CPI was going to be higher. That, of course, it all combines together. So these were kind of expected to be higher, but yeah, they're going higher. Is this just a little blip, or is this something we need to worry about? The markets don't seem to think so. As always, guys, check your potential trades with for any upcoming earnings and news, things of that nature. That's all we need, is something that we overlooked. These markets are hard enough right now. All right, as always, guys, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.